basically I'm here to help some people out to figure out if they should get Windows 10, how they know, if they're ready for it, and how to get it. Now, if you're running Windows 8, there's gonna be a little icon down here, and you press it, it comes up, asks you, tells you blah 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 about Windows 10, yada yada yada, request it, yada blah blah blah. You can do that and sit down and wait, or you can do it the best way. I did it the best way, the non-waiting way that I'm gonna show you right now. I don't remember everything off of my head, so I'm probably gonna have to search a little bit. I should have prepped before I did this, but I didn't. So anyways, I am running Windows 10 right now. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. It's pretty fast. It works perfectly. I haven't had any issues as yet. It has some pretty cool features and stuff, but I haven't really used much of them. I pretty like the tiles. It's pretty cool. And then there's the store where you can buy stuff from. But we're not going to talk about the features right now. We're going to talk about how to get this, how to know if you're ready for this. Now, I know I was ready for this because this computer was custom built. I built it myself, and I picked out the hardware which I know would be Windows 10 compatible. Now, the motherboard I'm running on my system right now is a Asus Maximus Hero, which is a pretty awesome motherboard so far. I haven't had any issues. It does what it's supposed to do, and it hasn't give me any type of error. But I have been using this motherboard company from, well, I wouldn't say from the start, but I started with Gigabyte, and then I just jumped right into these guys. But this is the motherboard that I'm running. Now, if you're not building a computer, or you already have a machine, or you have a laptop, you can do this another way. As you can see right here, Windows 10 ready. Now, if you have a laptop, you would have to know if your laptop is ready for this. So basically, this is what you do. You go to your computer's manufacturing website. Let's say you have a Dell. You're gonna go to Dell, and you're gonna go to drivers, Dell drivers. Okay. Now you're gonna type in your computer's information. Now I do not have any type of Dell laptop in front of me right now, so I'm just gonna do this with a machine that I think should be able to run Windows 10. But basically, you go to the website, you go to drivers, and then you enter your information, and then you search. But since I don't have a Dell, or you can do the detect product. Most of the website have this feature. Toshiba, Dell, and I think HP has it, where you auto detect. You press this, it installs a little software in your computer which scans your computer and tells this website what it is, puts it in, automatically comes up and shows everything that it needs to show. Now, I'm just going to randomly click this one here, and Alienware 14. Now, first of all, the drivers is what you're going to be looking for. Okay, if you're running Windows 8, okay, right here, basically whatever you're running in your computer is what's going to come up. Okay, if you scan your computer, it's going to come up with what you have. If it doesn't, then you enter it in. Now, if you have Windows 8, that's what you're running right now, Windows 8, then most likely you're able to upgrade to Windows 10. That's how it should be. If you're running Windows 7, it's kind of maybe not. Now, how do you know if your computer is Windows 10 ready? The drivers. This is required for your computer to operate, I should say, operate normally or operate stable. Basically, it's required for your computer to operate right. Okay, if you do not have audio drivers, you're not gonna hear anything. If you do not have chipset drivers, your computer's gonna act like a little retard. Modem drivers, you're not gonna have Wi-Fi, you're not gonna have internet, stuff like that. Network and modem, it's almost the same thing, but storage, not a really big deal. But audio, chipset, modem, network, and video are the most important ones. Now, you do not need applications, you do not need the utilities. BIOS, you don't need to unless you have an issue, because updating your BIOS is very risky. If you do not know what you're doing, do not do it. Some of them are basically not as hard as before you had to do all type of crazy things. Now you just download the file, run it, it does everything, restart, and you're good to go. But to know if your computer is Windows 10 ready, you go and change your OS to Windows 10, and you see if the drivers are available. Now for this one, it is. There's the audio, there's the BIOS, which you don't need, modem, mouse, keyboard, network, video. All the important drivers are here. Now for Windows 10, I would think that you would update your BIOS just to be safe. You don't have to. If everything works fine, you don't need to. But audio, modem, mouse, keyboard, whatever you have, your network, and your video. Now for network, you have to be careful because sometimes there are multiple different drivers. They can be two drivers for the same thing. You could have, your computer could have probably an Intel or a different brand of driver. You have to be very cautious of what you're doing. But this is how you know your computer is ready. Instead of sitting and waiting for Microsoft to tell you, hey, you're ready to upgrade now, you don't have to do that. You go in, you enter Windows 10. If there is no Windows 10, then your computer is not compatible. Okay? If you put in your computer and it's on Windows 7, Windows 8, whatever you're running, and you try to put in Windows 10 and that option is just not available, then do not waste your time. You cannot get Windows 10. If you really want Windows 10, you're gonna have to sell your laptop, buy one that is Windows 10 ready or has Windows 10 already. So these are the drivers you're gonna need. Some people are gonna need other drivers such as USB, not USB, SD card readers and Bluetooth, and it all depends on what your computer has. You're gonna require those drivers. Now if you put this in and you only find audio, video, or you probably just find audio, don't get scared. You can go back to Windows 10, maybe Windows 8, and the same drivers that's not in Windows 10, you open them up and you can probably read a little bit about them. Some of them would say, this one is not giving much information, but some of the drivers would tell you that it's wait a certain amount of, let's see if this one has it supported right here. Supported, it would say Windows 7, Windows 8, and if it does support Windows 10, it's gonna say Windows 10. Alright, so don't be scared if you go on Windows 10 and it's not listed. Just go back to Windows 8 and you double check to see if it says Windows 10. If it does, then you download that driver and you install it. Now, that's the first step. Your computer is ready for Windows 10. Now, you won't lose anything from this upgrade. But if you're scared and worried, because if your computer, let's say your hard drive is already going bad, you have sectors on there that's bad, probably during the installation of Windows 10, it's just gonna go crazy and just, you know, crash on you. back up your important files. You should already be doing this because your hard drive can crash at any moment. You could be having fun on Facebook, Netflix, you go to bed, wake up the next morning, computer is frozen, you restart it, gives you a blue screen error, something. It could be randomly. So please, you got to back up all your stuff anyways. But if you want to be sure and cautious, you back up all your important files. External hard drives are not expensive. You can get them pretty cheap. You don't need a big one. To know what size you need, you go to My Computer and you look at your hard drive size. This one says 237, but this hard drive is actually a 250. It never says exactly the size of the hard drive. It's just like a memory card. You buy an 8 gig, it's not exactly 8 gig. I don't know why they do that, but that's how it is. So you're gonna see you have 237 total, and you're only using 108. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a hard drive, external hard drive, as big as this, or a little bigger, or twice that size. They are cheap. Don't be cheap and say, oh, I don't need this. You need it. External hard drives are cheap. Get one. Back up your photos, documents, your music, whatever, and then you go to the upgrade part. Now I would have to do this over again because I don't remember what I did. Yeah, I know. But you would have to force your computer to download Windows 10. Now, I don't remember exactly the link, but I will post it in the description because I would have to go find it. But let's see if I can find it in my history here. No, it wouldn't be in my history. I think I found it. The reason why you're not seeing what I'm doing there because I got dual screens. I can do stuff and you won't really know what I'm doing. Anyways, the website link will be posted in the description below. So you're gonna go to this site and you're gonna download the tool. You're gonna choose 32 or 64. Now, which one do I need? That's your question. You're gonna go to if you're running Windows 8, it's going to be different. If you're going to Windows 7, it's going to be different, but it's basically in the same location. You want to go to System, and it's going to be right here, 64-bit. It's going to be 64 or 32. Do not get 64 if you have 32. If you have 64, you get 64. Do not get 64 thinking that it's going to be better and you can run only 32. It's not going to work. So you match it up to what you have and then you download this tool. Now when you download this tool, which is going to take forever right now because my internet is not that fast, you're going to have options, and let's see if I can show you a little example here, and you wait for it to open up, or whatever, it depends on how your computer is set up. You open it up. I hope this runs because I already have Windows 10. Okay, now you're gonna have two options. You can do this one, you can do that one, but you want to do this one. Upgrade this PC now. Then you go next. I'm not sure what this is gonna do, but let's hope it doesn't screw up anything here. And then it's gonna do its thing. I'm going to close this because it's going to start downloading the Windows files, which I don't want it to do because it's going to take space. So it's going to do this, and it's going to go to 100. It's going to do everything automatically. You don't have to sit down and watch it, but you're going to have to follow some instructions when it reaches to that point. That's what you do. It's going to do its thing. You're going to install Windows 10. It's going to restart a couple times. You're going to put your, computer name or whatever, and then you're going to have Windows 10. Now, the drivers, you have to make sure you get your drivers. Sometimes Windows will automatically download the drivers, sometimes it won't, but basically when you're finished with your installation of Windows 10 and everything reboots and everything, you can go double check to see if all your files are on your computer. If it's still there, then bravo. Don't get rid of the ones on the external because it's good to have a backup. Now, your computer might not look as pretty as this because of the drivers. When there is no drivers installed for the video, it's going to be huge. Sometimes it's going to be blurry. Now you're going to go here. Actually, you're going to right click. Then you want to go to Device Manager. Then you're going to see a heap. This is all the drivers here. Now, the ones that needs to install, it's going to have some markings. It's probably going to be open like this. And then it's going to have some signs to tell you that, oh, I'm missing this driver. You're going to see the ones that it's missing. You're not going to go and install all the drivers. You're just going to find the ones that's missing. Most likely, it's going to be your display. It's going to be your network. It's going to be your keyboard maybe. Sometimes you have the human interface devices and your audio sound. But this is what I want to tell you. Before you install any of these drivers, you want to download and install the chipset driver. You always install your chipset drivers before any other drivers. All right, you install that driver and then you restart the computer. You make sure you restart it. You don't download it, install it, and then install the others. You download it, you install it, and you restart, and then you continue. You can download any other driver in any other format, but you must install your chipset drivers first. Do not ask me why. If you want, you can go Google it, but I really don't have time to explain. So that is how you force yourself to get Windows 10 instead of waiting for it.